Hello viewers and welcome to Road America and the Factory Race Car Series. Now, this is the modern day race car series, and because apparently I already had the McLaren, that's the car we're using today. We start off the line, we start off in P11 position, looking up to the right hand side of the inner part of the track in the next corner. You see, this is quite a long race. It's a medium length race, 8 laps of the full Road America as we're battling our way through the cars all around us. There's definitely a fair few yellow McLarens ahead of us, breaking a 100-meter board down to third gear and coasting it round this corner, having a little bit of contact on the way out, but everybody is trying to find a neutral bit of ground they can work with. Sending it down here a little bit slower than everybody else due to the poor exit I received. Looking out for the 300-meter marker, braking just after it down to second gear, and I get slammed up the back end by a Ferrari that full on sent it at 200 miles per hour. Yep, then I got stuck to a wall. Thank you, Forza. The physics are incredible here. Glued to a wall and nothing I can do about it. While we're trying to get ourselves unstuck here, here's an action replay of the full send Ferrari at probably around 200 miles per hour. Right in my back end. Well, let's not dwell on the situation and try and overtake this Ferrari that is in front of me right now. Coming round the outside, do get a little bit of contact with that car. I was unsure of where they were going as they would go to the left hand side of the track and came back over, whilst I was also coming over. This McLaren can be a little bit twitchy, so I didn't want to shake the wheel too much. Braking just after the 300-meter marker down to third gear. Over the curb we go and accelerating out the other side and catching up to the yellow car that's just gone over the Corvette bridge. Braking down the third gear again, over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side. Somebody in front has had more fun than I have as I'm going round the outside here now. They are a little bit squirrely, so I am mindful of what their tactic and game is. I don't want to get caught up in another bit of chaos. Car in front does have a 5-second penalty, but is also 7.8 seconds away, which is quite a gap to try and find as we're going around this track. But we are going to jump ahead, go through the pits and out the other side, and we are on lap 6 right now. Braking that the 200-meter board down the third gear, over the curb we go and accelerating out the other side. We are still behind the person with a 5-second penalty, but we have caught up a huge amount of time considering the situation we was in. We are now 1.3 seconds away from that car in front. Really, I just got to try my best and get the absolute hammer down to try and gain that position off them. I mean, time wise I have already gained that position, because unless I fall off the track again or get rear-ended at 200 miles per hour, I've got it in the bag thanks to their penalty. But I want to overtake and see if the car in front of them also has a penalty on how far that car is away. We do have 2 laps remaining. Looking at the map, the car in front of this player is not that far away, so I do want to try and keep pushing myself forward as we come down this line now. Braking at a 200-meter board, turning in a third gear and accelerating out the other side. Going out a little bit and then bringing it back in as we're coasting around in 4th gear, trying to stay in a darker part of the track because it has more grip. As soon as the curb starts on your right hand side, start accelerating, applying that throttle gently until maximum throttle out the exit of this corner. I do let off in this corner ahead because I found sometimes you can take it flat out, but there's a chance that I wasn't willing to take and meet the wall again. So sending it down here, looking out for the first 500-meter marker, braking hard down the third gear and going up the inside of this car now. The problem with the car to my, well, behind me right now, it is quicker in a straight line than I am, peculiarly enough. Don't even think that's a word. Yeah, anyway, that's the word we're using. Sending it up the hill we go. They're right behind me, gonna have the ultimate slipstream as we're flat out over the start and finish line again. They are going to make a move and overtake. That's not a problem, because once you've gone past, that means I can have a little bit of slipstream, and both of us having that bit of playground work does mean we can catch up to the car in front. Braking hard down the third gear, rub that curb on the right hand side, accelerate out of the corner. Holding on your left hand side, looking for the 100-meter board, braking just before it, down to third gear, over the curb again, accelerating out early so we have a better run down this back section now. As you can see, even though we are on a slipstream and I did hit a bit of mud, that car is leaving me for dust. So that is a bit of work I have to play with. Yeah, this car wasn't a fast and straight line. I do have a bit of downforce on the rear to try and keep the back end in check. So I am going to lose overall in top speed, but hopefully I can gain on the grip side of things. Braking in third gear, over the curb we go, bringing it around to the outer part of the track and accelerating out the corner. Back over to your left hand side, rubbing that curb on the right, letting off the throttle just a little bit and then flat out down this hill. Looking out for the 200-meter board, braking hard down the third gear, over the curb on the left hand side, and there we go. We are side by side, the black car on my right hand side. Going to take the outside line, the not so optimal line, and then bringing it back in, accelerating out this corner as soon as the curb starts, and there we go. We are leaving that car for dust. We have a great exit on this track. We have still got grip on our tyres as we're sending it down the section now. Very close to going off there, very close. That was quite a risk I took right there. And looking out for the first, number 5, braking hard down to third gear, letting off a little bit and then turning in. Accelerating out of the corner, and there's a bit of furniture on the road still. That's I guess somebody's had more fun than we've had right now. Accelerating round the corner, braking at the 200-meter marker, down to third gear, coasting it round this corner, and again we see the car in front is 6.6 seconds away. I do not think, unless an incident happens, that we are going to gain upon that. P1 is 30 seconds away. That is a huge lead. And, well, considering, really, it's not that bad because I got stuck against the wall whilst got sent to Oblivion. I'm surprised it didn't hit me that hard. He crashed the game, to be fair. But I haven't managed to overtake that player yet, so I don't know where they are within the pack. Anyway, hopefully they got a good penalty as well. What's the chances they got away with no action or not at fault? Yeah, that sounds about right for Forza, to be fair, to make that kind of decision, and usually would blame me. Anyway, looking out for the 300-meter marker, braking just after it into third gear, coasting it through this corner now, and wow, that person's gone off track. Come on, foot down. I wonder if we can catch him. We're going to have to overtake him if we do catch him because their penalty is less than mine. So we're going to have to get a 0.3 second lead from that player up in front to even be able to gain upon that position. Looking out for the 200-meter marker, braking down the third gear, turning in, over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side, getting a little bit slippy in the exit. Tyres are starting to wear on this last lap. To be fair, this car is pretty good on tyres, so I'm going to make a move up the inside. That is that move done, and accelerating out of the corner. That was a beautiful and very lucky move, I might add, because if they turned in, we would have both been part of a stupid sandwich. And that's the best way of putting it, because I made a silly move as the undertake, and they turned in. It would have been the best part of a stupid sandwich. Anyway, braking down the third gear, turning in, front left hand side, well, both left hand side tyres now are minor wear. The outside tyres are not going to be far behind as we're going through this next corner. So I'm going to take my time and make sure that they're 4.4 seconds away right now. So their tyres may well be absolutely ruined. And I've been very lucky with this car. P7 is 4.9 seconds away, so I'm never going to catch that considering we're about to hit the start and finish line. But this next race we're about to go to went so well to the last, well, second to last lap, where one little pixel went wrong. But before we get there, I'd just like to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, and DMC Motorsport. Thank you very much, guys. On to Brands Hatch. Now, I didn't qualify again, so we're going to start roughly down the back end of the pack. There's a vast array of different style and types of cars, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to slam it straight into second gear, as first gear has a mountain of wheel spin. Obviously, someone forgot to start there. So we have basically come around this first corner and ended up in P10 position, which is absolutely brilliant for the start of the race. Looking at the 100-meter marker, braking down to second gear and turning in as tight as you can, trying to stay away from everything that is going on around us. There's a lot of contact from that yellow McLaren to my left hand side as we're braking in and getting slammed at the back, slamming to the McLaren in front and slamming everybody else out the way. Yep, that is now 7th position gained. Thank you very much, guys, for moving kindly out of the way. I'm sure there was some assistance there, but not by me. Anyway, we have the slipstream of the car in front. That is in position 6. and we're going to make full use of that, braking at 100 meter board down the 4th gear, turning in and coasting it round, accelerating out the other side, looking out again for the 100 meter board, braking hard, over the curb we go, keeping it as tight as we can, and there we go. Look at that, we're right up behind them, but because they're going a little bit slower, the green car that is behind me is also catching up, so I'll go up the inside of that car now, looking out for 100 meter board again, down the 3rd gear, coasting it through this corner and flat out down the other side. Now I don't have that car behind me, well, in front of me, slowing me down. They're going to be behind me, slowing down the other car. Another one goes off track, well, sorry, take that back, 2 go off track, and discovering building sandcastles is far more fun than this race. Looking out for the 200 meter marker, down by the brakes, down to 4th gear, turning in, accelerating down the hill, and keeping to the left hand side, looking out for the 100 meter marker, braking down the 1st gear and turning in, and trying to look for a move on Am Lobster in front. Now they are in a McLaren, but it does seem to have a little bit better acceleration than I do. So knowing that, I'm going to try and maximise the slipstream use as we're going down this back straight, braking the 100 meter board down the 3rd gear, taking it wide and turning it in. As soon as we're 3/4 of the way through the corner, accelerating out to the side, I guess I'm not going to be able to use their slipstream considering they went off the track. We are 1.5 seconds away from Factory Savage. We're in position 3 right now. Just like to say that, position 3, absolutely incredible. So there's a blue car, and I think that's a McLaren as well up in front that we need to try and work with to try and catch up. Well, I say work with, the idea is to work with them a little bit and then overtake on the last lap. The idea is there, whether the idea works is a totally different matter, but we are catching up to them very quickly, so I presume both of them are fighting quite heavily to try and have that position 1. Anyway, braking down the 3rd gear, turning in and accelerating out the other side. You can see the McLaren in front is making a move on the blue car, which I also believe may well be a McLaren. It's hard to see from all the way back here. Yep, so 2 McLarens. That's alright, because I'm in a McLaren, so although not the same one as those, but yeah. We're going to hopefully try and catch up to these 2, stay behind them, and let them fight each other off the track. That's the idea right now. That's what I'm thinking, because they are battling very, very hard with each other. We'll accelerate out of this corner, very close to the track limits right there. Looking out for the 100 meter marker, braking down the 3rd gear, turning in, and accelerating out the other side of this corner. The yellow McLaren Factory Savage 17 is having quite a good lead from Monaldo. That is the blue car in front of me. Anyway, they do have, what is it, I would say a 0.5 second lead from each other. So, seeing that ahead, Ronaldo has to do quite a bit of work to catch up to the Factory Savage 17 and try and look for that position to make it move. Or he's going to apply the pressure and Factory Savage is going to fall off the track with the pressure applied. Anyway, I'm going to sit back here, have a good little bit of gap, and just watch it all unfold. There's no rush right now. You don't win the race on the first few laps. Well, there you go. Factory Savage is off building sandcastles, and it's just me and Ronaldo to work together. Now we're going to jump ahead now to the end of lap 4. As we come around this corner now, Ronaldo goes off track a little bit, so I'll go up the inside, and Ronaldo comes across in front of me, and I end up going to the side of them. So that is a lot of positions lost right now. You can see everybody was waiting to capitalize upon our mistake. Now I'm being shoved down to position 6. Oh, what are we gonna do about that? We had it so well, so close. We was gonna make that move work, but I'm gonna see if we can push our way back up to the top. Now I'm gonna work on Ronaldo if I can keep up with them and push our way back up to podium position. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's a case of whoopsie daisies right there. Anyway, coming out the end of the pits for the start of lap 6, because I wasn't gaining on Ronaldo in front, and I thought it's pretty much an okay time to pit. I'd rather have a good run on the exit of the pits and have a clear bit of traffic than be caught up behind someone and literally just send it as much as I can, because everybody else is going to pit on the next lap. I think I was the only one that pitted on this lap, to be fair, besides another player maybe. But I have a good bit of air once I get past this McLaren to my right hand side. Braking at the 100 meter marker, going through a little bit slow because I did not have the optimal line, and just absolutely sending it out the latter part of the track. Coming up to the end of lap 6 for the start of lap 7, braking down the third gear, over the curb we go and centering out the other side. You see a fair few cars are sat in the pits right now getting their tyres changed, and I'm just going to whoosh all the way past them. So we are exiting and starting lap 7 in position 7. So that is not too bad right now. We still have a few more to gain, and maybe a bit more if other players are on hard tyres and doing a harder soft strategy rather than a medium to medium. Right, we're going to jump ahead to the end of lap 8 and the start of lap 9. We are in position 3 right now, as other cars did pit on the last round. Now, oh no, take that back. There's a person in the pits here as well, so we're in position 2. You see the red Ferrari is absolutely sending it. I'm actually struggling to keep up with them right now, to be fair. They are very, very quick drivers. I do have factory swag behind me. That is 1.2 seconds away. That was a yellow McLaren that was fighting the blue McLaren. So I've got to be mindful of that and actually master these corners so I can get away from them. I'd rather not have them start sniffing around me and start breathing on me and applying pressure. So I'm going to absolutely send it down this back straight. You do see the Ferrari is 2 seconds away from me, and the factory swag is 1.4 seconds away from me right now. Braking down to 4th gear, over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side. Looking out for the 100-meter board on your left, braking again, over the curb we go. Really maximizing those track limits right there. That was very, very close. Braking again, 100-meter board, down to 4th gear, over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side. 100-meter board, braking down the 3rd gear and turning in. Locking up on corner entry has cost me a few attempts there, but we are over 2 seconds away from the car behind, whilst P1 is also over 2 seconds away from me, which is not ideal, but cleaner than the cars behind. I'm not going to be able to catch up to that Ferrari. That Ferrari is an absolute animal, and to be fair, I'd rather keep away from the cars behind than attempt to try and catch up to P1. But if I do gain time on position 1, hopefully they'll make a mistake because they're going to overdrive the car. That is a but, and it is a really, really big one. But I'm 2.4 seconds away from the factory. Savage has lost a position. They're in number 4 now. Drift Squids is in position 3. Can't grumble at that. Them two obviously battle each other right now. The more they fight, the cleaner it'll be easier for me, to be fair. Overtaking a Ghost right now. I guess they've given up. Looking out for the 100-meter marker, down to 4th gear, and round this corner we go. Accelerating out the other side, looking out for 100-meter board, down to 4th gear, turning over the curb, accelerating out the other side again. And this is where things all go wrong. Turning through this corner now, over the bank we go. A little bit twitchy, coming over to the right, and I just go to pixel onto the mud and send the car off track and totally lose control. Yep, that is that position lost. Absolutely gutted. And you saw how close it was to the track limits. I was about a pixel or 2 over, and the game was like, nope, send the car to Oblivion because he's obviously doing too well. I couldn't believe it because I've ran that line so close so many times. And it was literally, must have been a pixel or 2 that absolutely destroyed me. And I just want these two to keep fighting ahead of me right now, so them two will fall off the track. But, well, they are fighting quite heavily, but I do not want to be a party of that, so rather than keep the position 4. If I do get involved in that, it's only going to end badly for me, from what I can tell. Yeah, I was going to make a move there. Factory Savage would have literally took me clean out of the race if I carried on making that move. Never mind, my tyres are starting to wear. I did go in the pits a lap earlier, so all their tyres are going to be in far better condition than mine, which is why I was battling so far ahead earlier, because I had that gap, so in the last lap I could take a bit of a breather and keep on pace and rather not fall off the track. But yep, I'm absolutely gutted about spinning off the track and not being able to keep control of the car. Problem is, this car, once it's out of control, it really is an absolute animal to bring back in, and it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. And I would say it is what it is, but no, it's not for that situation. Not for a pixel or 2 over onto the mud. It shouldn't have destroyed a car the way it did. And I think Forza need to look at actually how grass and mud works on a dry day. I'm going to blame everything else besides my driving. Anyway, crossed over the finish line in position 4. Considering we started so far down the pack, we gained 11 places overall, which was absolutely brilliant, and we did finish the race with no penalties. Position 4 is absolutely great overall, and thank you for watching and see you all next time. Goodbye.